Okay, welcome to our daily meditation. Oh, I'm going to say that again, and we're not streaming yet. There we go. Welcome to our daily meditation online. I am your host, Reverend Fa Jun. I am also going to be your meditation instructor today, and we are in the midst of our 100 days of practice for the Buddhist Studies Institute. This is where this daily meditation actually started with as a support to the 100 days of practice that we do every year. And it continued on. It was so well received that we said, well, we might as well have daily meditation every day. So we've grown and evolved. Now we are live streaming and broadcasting simultaneously. And we will do that. We're going to have about a 20-minute meditation with myself. I'm a certified instructor through Buddhist Studies Institute, as well as a previously ordained person in a Chan Buddhist order under my previous teacher. And I'll be teaching you a calm abiding method today. Like I said, I haven't hosted in a little while, so let me go back and look in my notes and make sure there's nothing I am forgetting to tell you. If there's nothing I'm not forgetting to tell you, I think that'll work itself out. So, and then afterward, of course, so we'll have our meditation, and then afterward, we'll go through one of our traditional Buddhist precepts, and then we will end our live stream and have just a few minutes of community time here on the Zoom meeting. So those who are tuning in streaming should have a link to resources, and I'm going to put that in the chat box for those here on the Zoom meeting, and I will get started with us in our meditation, starting with our traditional Buddhist practice of refuge. Feel free to chant along or generate this sense of refuge or just coming home to your practice in whatever way is appropriate for you. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha. I take refuge in the Lama, Yidam, and Khandro. I take refuge in the channels, winds, centers, and their nature, bodhicitta. I take refuge in complete openness, lucid presence, and compassion. Ho, mesmerized by the sheer variety of appearances, which are like the illusory reflections of the moon and water. Beings wander endlessly astray in samsara's vicious cycle. In order that they may find comfort and ease in the luminosity and all-pervading space of the true nature of their minds, I generate the immeasurable love, compassion, joy, and equanimity of the awakened mind, the heart of bodhicitta. Sentient beings are numberless. I train in order to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I train in order to transform them. Reality is boundless. I train in order to realize it. The awakened way is unsurpassable. I train in order to embody it. And then getting ready to begin our practice, we will find our comfortable seat. You can be sitting upright. This is considered to be the optimal position for meditation, but if your body needs to lie down, you can figure out how to lay down and meditate. Some of us might need to stand up or take little walking meditation steps as we go. All of these are fine, but ideally, if you can, you want to park your body in a position now that you can remain in through the rest of the meditation, because that will allow the mind to begin to go deep. So we'll take just a few of the points of our traditional sevenfold meditation posture. The first one is we're going to stack our spine up straight. And your hips are important to this. So if you're sitting on the floor or on a stool like I am, you want your hips a little higher than your knees. And you can tell because if the hips are lower than the knees, the spine tends to kind of bow back, and we want it to be moderately effortless uprightness to your spine. So go ahead and let your spine find its position of upright repose. Let your shoulder wings broaden laterally, and this will allow them to sink down. Let your tongue be on the roof of the mouth. Some traditions say this helps to still the inner chatter. The jaw is relaxed. The eyes gaze downward. This also helps the mind to relax. The palms are facing down on your thighs or in an equanimity mudra down below your belly button. And we can let the body come to a state of steadiness. And in this steady body, let's take a moment just to notice the breath without doing anything at all to it. Taking the breath as a gateway into the present moment. And to prepare us for our meditation, let's practice the double breathing. And so in this, our exhale will naturally flow out. And then push the exhale out again, like an extra exhale on top of your exhale, a double breath. Then the inhale is going to flow naturally. Let's do that just a couple more times. This accords with our Dzogchen and Tantric traditions, where they say always remove the stale air or the stale winds from the body before your practice. Good, then letting the breath return to normal. We'll begin our sitting practice. And some of you may have a practice that you want to do, which is fine. The practice I'll guide you in today is the 21 breath count method. And so in this method, we're watching the breath and particularly the exhales. And as you exhale, you'll count 1. And then you just let the in-breath come in naturally. And the second breath goes out and you count 2. And the in-breath comes naturally, etc. with 3 all the way up to 21. And then you'll count all the way back down to 0. So it's the 21 breath count. If you lose count, you just start again at 0. No judgment, no stress, no fuss. Just come back. And I'll butt in the middle somewhere to remind us to be on the object of our concentration. So let's get right into it. The 21 breath count method. And take note of your mind, focusing on those breaths and the counting up to 21 and back down. And one more time, take note of your mind. If necessary, bring it back to your meditation method, simply counting the exhales up to 21 and back down again. Then staying in your meditation seat, letting go of that counting or any particular method. We'll sit for a moment in formless meditation, just being with awareness itself. And then letting go of our meditation session, whether it felt like a good meditation session or a bad meditation session. We did it. We trained our minds in presence, and we can bring that to completion. And let's make transition by utilizing the double breathing again. So as you're ready in your natural breath cycle, let the breath flow out, and then you'll exhale on top of that exhale, a double breath with a natural inhale. And maybe do that 2 more times. And when you're ready, you can lift your gaze and come all the way back up to a conversational level. You might want to stretch a little bit. I always do at the end of my practice. All right, beautifully done. Feel free to follow along in those resources. I'm going to do our traditional dedication of merit at the end of our meditation practice, and then we will go into the reading of our precept for the day. May the teachings of the Buddhas spread and flourish. May all sentient beings be happy and joyful. May we practice the Dharma day and night. May the benefits for self and others be fully accomplished. We all bow. And reading our precept for the day. So we have incorporated this for the last year or so to help bring the ethical considerations into our meditation practice, as well as the broader cultural context. So I'm just looking up what were the last ones done. So I don't, for those of you who come all the time, I don't want to repeat myself. Okay, I think we are on avoiding sexual misconduct. So the classic precept is abandon sexual misconduct. And I'll read to you Rinpoche's commentary. I remain always in respect by treating myself and others with dignity, through respecting the intrinsically complete Buddha nature of myself and others. When I have a partner, I respect my intimate partner at all levels as an equal partner. I recognize that celibacy and non-celibacy have the same principle, to devote the body to liberation of oneself and others. Therefore, I commit my sexuality or celibacy for the realized union of body, mind, and emotions, and for the integrity of self, other, community, and society. I avoid sexual exploitation, manipulation, deception, discrimination, harassment, and objectification. I undermine misogyny by respecting marriage, relationships, and sexuality. I undermine abuse and infidelity by being transparent and honest about my relationship status. I undermine abuse by seeking enthusiastic verbal consent in my romantic relationships. I understand that consent may not be possible in asymmetrical power relationships. I disentangle sexual relationships from asymmetrical power relationships in order to undermine the patriarchal systems that have exploited women, girls, and other vulnerable and marginalized people for centuries. I recognize that causing others to break their vows is the same as breaking vows myself, and therefore abide by the vows of others, refraining from sexual relationships with monastics or those in monogamous relationships. I respect the expression, of the spectrum of genders within myself and others as it manifests according to each person's art of being. All right, so this completes our reading of our precept and our meditation. Thank you for joining us for practice together. Please, of course, for all upcoming programs, go and check out the Buddhist Studies Institute. I'm sure you have the link in whatever platform you are joining us from today. And at this time, I'm going to end our live stream and turn it over to our community time here on the Zoom meeting. So thank you all for joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, and wherever you are.